purpose of maintaining these keys, these ledgers will not be on the users. They will be stakeholders like, the organization, government organization, which are managing the land records and others, right? So it will not be the owners of the people. Rajiv.das.ctc.org. Yes, be able to register with this email ID. In case not, Rajiv, please reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'll be able to help you. Abhi Singh, how blockchain can be used in e-commerce? Okay, good question, right? So let's say you bought a high value product from some online shopping portal, right? So what you did was, when you were actually buying it, you were getting a contract with that company. What was the contract? The contract was, you are paying 50,000 rupees for buying the X product, which belongs to some brand and which has certain, specifications. Now, when this contract, when this engagement is blockchain governed, what happens is, in case you get a spurious product, in case you get a wrong product, in case you get a product which is not up to or which is not the same thing that you actually ordered for, the company stands liable for compensation. First of all, the company can't do that. Why? Because at the back end, connected to the supply chain of that X brand which you have bought from that online buying portal, wherever you're buying it from. So this way, the entire system is, there is no scope of fudging. There is no scope of manipulation. There is no scope that the e-commerce company can send you a wrong product. It can issue with the logistics, that is always possible. But otherwise, they cannot send you a fictitious product and wash their hands off. That is what actually we're talking about here. Okay, how to use blockchain as a startups. So blockchain as a startups means, whenever there is a startup idea, guys, that's when you try to see what technology fits into convert idea into a product or an MVP. That's when blockchain can be a probable thing, right? Shreyas, you have experience in Solidity. Okay, so Shreyas, maybe I can do is, towards the end, I can guide you to some code patterns or GitHub repos where you can get some more content there. Okay, who determines the cost of blockchain of cryptocurrency? So we are not talking about cryptocurrency here, and there is, I think you need to reframe your question. How Bitu asks how blockchain is useful for in agriculture field. This is absolutely fantastic, Bitu. I'll give you one example which is very close to my heart. All of us know that today the fruits, the vegetables that we buy are contaminated big time, right? Whether it's use of pesticides, whether it's use of the way it is grown today, which is not conducive. All of us know this, right? And the major problem the farmer or the producer faces is finance, right? That's the reason you will see so many farmers stuck up in loan, and unfortunately, few of them even take their lives for that reason, right? When they are not able to repay the loan. Now think about it. Let's say 100 people come together, because we will be using vegetables. Every day we will be eating grains, right? What if 100 people come together and form a corporate, right? Or maybe some sort of a society together. And each of them do, let's say, 10,000 rupees together each, right? 100 people into 10,000 rupees comes up to be a good 20,000 rupees, right? Whatever, let's say your annual budget of grains is, let's say, 50,000 rupees or 40,000 rupees. How about these 100 people coming together and pooling this 40,000 rupees and giving it to a farmer or couple of farmers, which can help these farmers to actually do a organized, organic farming. And what in fact will happen is, you as a contributor will be able to get an organic produce directly from the farm, which is proven. You are sure about that there are no pesticides. There is no, this product is absolutely good to consume, right? And the farmer does not get into that debt trap. Why? He's getting money for putting the seeds, for, tilling the farm and all that. At the same time, he is assured that there are buyers of the crop, right? So agriculture is awesome, where we will be able to help. You're directly able to influence the lives of farmers, and at the same time, you can be able to help yourself also in the entire process. And why blockchain? Because blockchain provides confidence to both the stakeholders, to all the stakeholders for that matter. There will be no cheating in the overall system, right? So that's how blockchain. And then this is just one example I'm talking. There are so many such use cases available in blockchain agricultural space. Okay, Anchit says possible to prevent user information breaches. Yes, it is very much possible, Anchit. Each time, maybe you connect with me separately. It's a longer answer. I don't want to take everybody's time with this right now. Okay, Math3 says 2 states has implemented blockchain for land revenue. How can we get information about that? So Math3, you can find there are white papers available. Blockchain in a small area. Blockchain is not about area. Blockchain is about number of people, transacting between each other. So there are multiple people, multiple organizations, multiple agencies transacting with each other. Yes, blockchain can be explored. Sahil says even a cow can become an asset on the blockchain. Anything can become an asset on the blockchain. Anything which is getting transferred, which bears some value. Cow bears the value, right? There are cows and buffaloes which are worth lakhs and crores, by the way, right? So that's such a costly entity. So yes, anything can become an asset, right? You see these fungible tokens, right? Every now and then, this token, that token, they are actually becoming an asset, right? Why? Because people are putting money into nothing, right? Okay, yes, blockchain is there in almost every field users. It's absolutely correct. It's important to have blockchain in e-commerce domain. Anant, in agriculture industry, most grains are wasted in storage. Please, it is of course very much feasible. So I'll give you an example. Where IBM has developed a food trust chain to which partners already, which are there, Nestle and all. We'll see that example. In a while. Anant, please hold on. Country like India, okay, let me go further, guys. There's a lot of questions pouring in. Cannot afford wastage. Absolutely, I agree with you, Anant. You'll see that, more of it. Blockchain is not similar to cryptocurrency, guys. Cryptocurrency is the application of blockchain. The underlying technology in a cryptocurrency is anyways blockchain, right? How can we use blockchain in a startup which is working for rental things? Singh, absolutely good. A lot of startups are already using blockchain for rental things. Look, in a rental thing, what is the couple of pain points? Pain point is you get what is being committed by the owner, right? Number 2, return what you actually got. The condition of the product should be the same, right? So all those things, those aspects is something which should be key, which is key, and this is something which blockchain can really help us. Gaurav, we can put video, audio, images in e-commerce example. Yes, the ideal thing would be Gulab that e-commerce vendors adopt blockchain. Few of them are already bringing a few processes of blockchain also. Anand, is good for supply chain. If I cannot change the price, of course you can change the price. It doesn't mean that smart contract cannot be changed, right? It was never meant. Smart contracts are always can always be updated with new versions. Remember, we talked about that. All the stakeholders should agree to it. Singabi, you can just search by MADHUKAR. You'll be able to find me. Okay, no, blockchain cannot be started by anyone. You need to have a consortium approach for adopting of blockchain. Is farmer is the asset of blockchain. It's actually the user. I'm not not discussing about the mining here. Okay, Anshit, please connect with me on LinkedIn. Blockchain is highly secure, guys. So please be assured that any data which is brought on the blockchain has the highest level of security. We talked about when I was talking to you about the IBM blockchain platform, which is highest, security compliant. Kuldeep asking about use of blockchain in mass media. See, Kuldeep, in mass media, there are so many use cases possible, right? Owner the content that you produce, right? Let's say you captured a beautiful picture, photograph, right? You put it on some photography competition, or you put it online, right? So somebody is downloaded that image and somebody is using it without paying you any royalty or any that, right? It's a infringement of your right as a owner of that image, right? And same goes for anything else. There is a script, there is an idea, there is a movie idea, right, which somebody wants to get patented, or maybe somebody's already patented and somebody else is create a movie on that, right? This has been a case, right? Or writes about a music album, writes about the script. So all of those are actually use cases for mass media. um, Sorry, Gulab's cow to fellow example, it's needed to put some tags. Gulab, for animal identification, there are tags, RFID tags, which come today, right? For all, the livestock, people use those for identifying the element, identifying the animals, right? So that's thing that can be always used for things. Okay. Okay. Samir, blockchain utilization and defense for inventory management. See, Samir, blockchain is not the right technology for things like inventory management. But blockchain is a good technology to use when there are multiple organizations coming together. For example, user of the ammunition is army, right? Or let's say some division in army, right? User. Then there would be a producer, the government ordnance factory, right? And then there may be some more, stakeholders in this network. Maybe some suppliers, right? Which would be, part of this overall network. So when you bring all of them together, that can be a good use case, but then not for inventory management of ammunition, right? Okay, guys. I guess we've taken enough questions. You can still keep putting your questions. When we have big data not feasible to host on blockchain, how do we leverage blockchain over there? So Gulab, the authenticity of the data or the authenticity of the derivative of that big data is something that can be used on a blockchain. As I said earlier, we need not bring the entire data on the blockchain, even though, see, we are referring to some data. If we are sure about the data, so, if we actually bring a footprint of the data, footprint of the transaction on the blockchain, even that is enough to ensure that nobody will fudge with the data, will not manipulate the data, right? So we don't actually, Preeti, you don't need permission from government to start a blockchain, right? Unless the process requires a government, or it's a government-owned. Unless that is the case, or you want to implement blockchain there, you don't need a permission from government to start a blockchain-based solution. Let me, take a pause from questions. Let me go further because I have a lot to cover. I want to actually, cover my entire piece. Then, yes, in travel and transportation, again, blockchain have been get utilized. A lot of fleets, right? The transportation fleets today have been using. I can give you a small example to this effect, right? Often we see that Ola and Uber vehicles, right, are which are flying on the road. The person who has taken a license versus a person who is driving the vehicle are different. Just a small example to you. Let's say there is Mr. X who has taken a license, who's got enrolled with Ola, and in Mr. X's name is the license to run the vehicle. And you know what Mr. X does is he has a driving license because of which Ola has given him, allowed him to take his vehicle on the road. But on the vehicle is driven by Mr. Y, and maybe Mr. Y does not even have a driving license, right? Now Mr. X or he has some other day job, so he actually passed on the vehicle to Mr. Y to drive it. Now the problem is if some untoward happens, if some accident happens, right, because of Mr. Y's carelessness or maybe Mr. Y's incapability to drive the vehicle efficiently, who would be who will own the thing? who will own this entire episode, right? So see this. This can be beautifully solved right now. There are multiple external parties, stakeholder. Ola is a stakeholder. The person who is actually taken the license, who is enrolled with Ola, is again a stakeholder. There are so many of them, right? So the point is, had there been a system that before the vehicle starts, it checks for the credentials of Mr. X in some manner, or Mr. X has to key in his credentials before every ride starts, right? If that can be the case, then it can be ensured that each time a passenger is in the Ola cab, he is riding with the legitimate Mr. X, who is rightful, driver for the vehicle. And then there can be so many other, examples for this, right from you said for paying how Boeing is using for the parts provenance. There can be so many such other things. Okay, see this. Somebody was talking about supply chain management. Right? So the potential impact of blockchain is really substantial. When you streamline the processes, when you have a more transparent view of the inventory, when you actually have a more improved asset utilization, blockchain can impact up to 5% increase in global GDP. 5% in global GDP. Just imagine the amount of increase, right? Similarly, it says 15% of increase in trade volume today, right? Deficit that we have, if this 15% increase happens because of utilization of blockchain, it can revolutionize the world. It can really save the world with so many prevalent problems like hunger, like inadequate food, medicines not reaching to everybody. So many things can really get solved, by streamlining a couple of these things, right? Why? Because it is the distrust between these organizations. I'll give you another simple example, guys, before we go on, right? Now, most of the time, we feel like doing charity, right? I'm sure all of us have a soft corner, for somebody who is needy, right? We always want to pull out our wallet and we always look to help somebody who is in need for something. Particularly in last 2 years, if you see the amount of empathy people have, started to have for people who are needy, who are in requirement of something, it's been tremendous, and this is very good. We should be generous. We should be giving, right? We should have this tendency. If we are capable of, be able to share with somebody, who is not capable of having it. There is no harm in it. It doesn't any poor. But the point is, often what we really have in our mind is, what if the money that I'm giving away, is it going in the right place? Is it really being utilized for the right reason? Right? That's one thing which withholds ourselves from making charity or doing big, donations. Right? Let's say I put in 10,000 rupees to some. Whether this trust will actually be using 10,000 rupees for the betterment of the people here, or will they just be, making our money? This is often a problem. Now think about, how about a charity which is based managed on a blockchain-based system, right? So you can see everything. Everything is transparent. You can be assured that the money that you have committed to the charity organization will not be misused, right? It will be put into the right use because everything is managed in a manner which has a record for it, right? And it can not be a manipulated or a spurious record. It will be a genuine record. That's what, as a person, I'll be more than happy to put my money on, so it can be used for betterment of people. You can bridge, if any technology can provide me with first, that's what is blockchain, right? And hence it can really streamline a lot of processes across the globe. Because it provides for that visibility, it provides for that data consolidation, and importantly, data cannot be fudged and data cannot be manipulated, right? Providing me with that tracking, transparency, and that's what is the benefit, right? Whether it's supply chain, whether it's any segment, whether it's healthcare records, anything that you talk about, that's what is the benefit of actually bringing blockchain into the total system. Okay. Okay, I am not getting into this right now. We We will talk more about this in a while. Please do not worry if I'm skipping a few. Let me start by this, right? Because I have a lot of things to talk about, right? So this is one example which I would like to start with, getting into the detail, and there has been a lot of interest, from the questions also that you have talked about. I see that, right? Now, in food ecosystem, think about people who do not get a square meal a day because of any reason, whether they are not able to afford it, or there can be multiple reasons, right? At the same time, you will see where the food gets wasted on a day-to-day basis, right? The amount of food is surplus, the number of consumers is less. A lot of food actually gets wasted as well, right? Uh, there is one part of the story. There is another part of the story. What's the other part of the story? The food that we consume is actually not right food to be consumed. Why? It can be stale, it is not up to the mark, and because of which we get ill while we consume that sort of food, right? That's another problem there. Uh, uh, Again, the food that we are considering not eatable, maybe that is eatable, right? And we are not sure about it, right? Now, how do I actually be sure about whether a food is consumable or not? I have no means. Today, I have no means for that, right? So there are so many reasons because of which the food actually gets wasted, guys, right? And there is a fraud existing in the existing food ecosystem, right? Whether the farmers are, or the suppliers, or the holding agents, the storing agents, wherever, right? There are a lot of scope of, there are a lot of places, there are a lot of fudging and fraud things happens there, right? Now, all of these issues and so many other are there one cause of lack of transparency. There's no transparency in the overall food chain today, right? So most of you who would have breakfast in the morning today, I'm not sure what you had, but typically, if you are joining us from north of India, then you might have a paratha. If you're joining us from south of India, maybe you might have a idli or a sambar it's like a staple food there, right? If you're joining from northeast side of the country, then you might have something like something else, right? But the point is, at any point in time, can you to yourself that the food that you ate, where did the ingredients come from? Do you have that visibility? I'm asking you as a question. Maybe you will not have that visibility. If I ate aloo parathas this morning, then I do not know where was the aloo sourced from, which part of the country did that aloo come from, when was it reared from the ground, or what temperature was it maintained in the storage, how long was it actually stored in the cold storage. I have no idea. That's completely opaque from me. There's no transparency in the system, right? That's what is the challenge, right? That's what is the challenge in the overall system. So what I'm going to talk about is a food trust system solution that IBM has come up with. A lot of our colleges like Carrefour, like Walmart, like GSF, for different food items. Let me take a pause here because I see a lot of questions and I want to answer them so that their quest for things are. Just a moment. Okay. Okay. Ashutosh, if and then how does it actually, you're talking about compromising the website data. Maybe I'm not getting the question. Maybe I'll revisit it, or maybe you rephrase the question. How is IBM contributing to quantum computing? Rishik, there is a lot of content available in case you want to, learn more about quantum. It's available on IBM Academic Initiative website. Not just that, there's a complete course on quantum, right from taking you what are the qubits, what's the quantum, how are they being used, all of that is there. You also can get access to IBM Q, which is IBM's quantum computer on cloud. which you can make use of. You can run your exam, your labs, your practicals over there in order to learn more about quantum, right? And we keep doing a lot of learning programs. You can be a part of that. Blockchain is already used in a lot of educational fields. You might have seen recently IIT Kanpur has issued the credentials on blockchain, which PM recently inaugurated when he went to the for convocation to IIT Kanpur. Before that, there had been a lot of universities which have been using blockchain for issuing certificates, credentials. Not just that, people have been using blockchain for issuing experience certificates as well on blockchain, right? Okay, not sure it gets contaminated, what it is a difference to. So there are a lot of already utilization there. We can create blockchain where food will not be wasted. Blockchain can help in giving a transparent view of the supply chain so that the wastage is eliminated. That's the idea, right? What is foodborne illness? Anything that you eat which is not eatable, and because of that, when you get ill, whether you get stomach is upset, or you get a feeling of dizziness after consuming it, or you get a vomiting feeling after consuming it, and then there can be so many more foodborne illnesses. I'm not a right expert for talking about that. Yeah. So okay. Manish, I visited vegetables farming in my village. How tracking is done? Good question. So, normally the tracking is done right from farm to the plate. We call it from farm to your plate, right? Right from the. So I'll just deal with that. Please hold on to this question. I'm going to cover it in detail later. Poonam Koda is another platform particularly used, for blockchain transaction oriented. It's a platform more suited for financial transactions. Okay. Samir asks, blockchain can be used in situations where there can be some sort of black marketing. Yes, of course, Samir, it's absolutely good use case for blockchain, because anything which is on blockchain, that means, let's say somebody who is storing, right? You will have a complete view who is holding how much stocks, and in case they're using it later on for selling at higher prices, everything can be tracked and well in time, right? So it's absolutely possible. Okay, Anand, I'm not sure what Mr. Santosh was talking about. I'm not sure, Santosh, which chart are you talking about? Public blockchain, we can know other entity. No, we cannot know anybody's identity, right? Gulab for food ecosystem seems very challenging. What I can see, we need to put seeds, fertilizer, and dust. Absolutely, you're right, Gulab. It's very challenging. It's very big. There are a lot of so many blockchain or just suppliers. No, Vinay, we do not need to have that much of them, but there has to be some bit of knowledge sharing with them about what are we doing, because when you put those barcodes, or when they put those barcodes on the boxes that they are shipping from the farms, they need to know what they are creating, what they are doing, right? Blockchain maintains transparency. How can I recognize in case of vegetables that is selling vegetables fully organized? Hold on with me. I will just share that answer to this question in a while with you. Okay, guys, let me at least cover this before we wind up, or we take a break at 11 and we come back. So let me get into this food chain example. So this is not a very old solution, guys. This is only a couple of years old when we made this food trust solution generally available. And we have so many partners already onboarded, right, from Nestle, Carrefour, Bristol, Walmart, Topco, GSF, Wakefund, and so many others, right? 150 plus global companies are now on this food trust ecosystem with 12 million plus transactions of 8,000 plus products, right? Which are already there, right? So what they are doing, let me just skip this first of all, and then I'll come back to this. See, this is what is the current problem, right? There are, in this overall food supply chain, food ecosystem, there are restaurants, there are growers, there are retailers, there are manufacturers, there are logistic companies which are coming together. Now, all of them are transacting with each other, right? They are pulling, they are getting some product from one place to another place, buying it from some grower. But the problem is they're all maintaining their data in silos, right? If at some point in time you want to actually trace back something, you will not be able to do in a reasonable time. That's why this entire food solution actually started when there was a E. coli virus outbreak, which happened in one of the Walmart, showrooms in US. And because of consuming that, contaminated cabbage, few people even lost their lives, unfortunately, right? So that's where the entire, thing of, and before Walmart could actually track where did this cabbage actually was sourced from, it took some time before they could actually, and they were not able to take it off the shelf, right? So that's where the blockchain-based food supply chain is really making a difference, right? See this. See this. So in this food supply ecosystem, there are multiple stakeholders, right? From farmers to logistic guys to retailers to restaurant owners and all those things, right? The idea is to bring all of them on a single platform, right? And where they can see the entire location of the food. They can trace the location and status of food products both upstream and downstream in the supply chain, right? Not just that, accountability, right? Let's say if somebody is stores fish from some vendor, right? So there should be a certification. When was the fish caught? What temperature was it maintained on? How long is it good to eat? All of that thing. So that sort of certification ensures the reliability and accountability of that product, and that's all in digitized form, right? Similarly, if anybody wants to access in real time, where can I buy something fresh? Where can I buy some X product? What is the shelf life of my product which is already in my inventory? All of those insights can be pulled in real time here, right? And it's really easy to onboard on this system, right? Third party onboarding, it's very easy to do that. So that's what food supply chain typically talks about. I'll just show you a demo maybe. Just see this. We did a pilot with Walmart for a mango, right? Wherein we had a package of peeled mangoes, sliced mangoes, and which this is the supply chain, right from grower to the person who is storing it, to the to the logistics company which is transporting it, to finally to the Walmart or some other company which is putting it on the shelf, peeling it, getting it sliced and all, right? In a typical manual paper-based model, in order to track one packet, it took 6 days, 18 hours, and 26 minutes to check whether get a information where was this mango sourced from, because our food chain is so complex and all, right? But with a food trust digital solution, it took just 2.2 seconds to identify it. Now let's say this mango is contaminated for some reason. So in the conventional manner, by the time you would have actually recalled the product, maybe everybody would have consumed it in different stores because it took you 6 days plus. But with a food trust digital solution, within 2 seconds you will be able to get the information, and you can immediately recall the product which is contaminated, right? So that's what is the power that the blockchain system provides, right? So as we are talking about it, it provides value to the entire food chain, right from farmers to the manufacturers, to the wholesale distributors, to consumers, to food retailers, logistics guys, certification bodies, right? Government has so many certification agencies, but today, there is rampant problem in that, right? It's so much broken everywhere, right? So all these typically, the food service, the regulators, right? All of them actually will be leveraging the food supply, the trust which actually is coming from this food supply chain. So guys, I'll take a pause here. I'll just finish with the remaining questions here, and then when we come back after at 11:30, maybe I will take the remaining. I'll cover the remaining part of the session then. Gulab, you're absolutely correct. To maintain the food ingredients quality, IoT needs to be integrated. IoT and blockchain is a natural marriage, as I said earlier also, in my last session, right? So, yes, IoT is definitely, a good fit when we talk about that. Okay. Is it possible that a person who fully understands blockchain technology can manipulate it? No. Initiative and insurance claiming since the data can be very big as it includes everything. So as I said earlier also, we do not bring the entire record on a blockchain.
Recording stopped.
The foot in of the transaction or the data on the blockchain. Where can IBM blockchain platform networks be deployed? Sanjana, we discussed about IBM blockchain platform IBP, which can be deployed anywhere. Sanjana. It can be deployed on IBM Cloud. It can be deployed on Amazon Cloud. Google Cloud. It can be even deployed on a local machine, right? So irrespective of that. So supply blockchain need all the asset to ensure the product quality is good or not. The blockchain implementation will ensure, say blockchain is just an enabling technology, right? Whether the quality of food is good or not, that only you will know, but then it gives you a visibility about that product quality, right? That we should understand. So guys, we'll take a break here and we'll come.
Or something which was completely new to me. It is such a wonderful solution. There's so many important solutions, and I hope that these sessions are going to give new insight to participants. There are very young people also, so they will be able to think of some startup with these ideas. Thank you.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you.
So many people are asking for quiz. Can you open the second quiz? The second quiz was open from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. yesterday. And many of you have attempted, I saw. Overall, many of you have done well. And if we have enough request for opening the quiz, what we will do, we'll be redoing it. And for some genuine reason, if you have not been able to do that, we will definitely be opening that. But let's see why you were not able to do it. Thank you.